It's AK Option Trader back at you. Sorry that I'm a little sick today. Stayed home sick, and I'm going to try to get this done. It may be a little bit shorter than usual, but I just want to wade through it so we have something to look for this week, and I got some decent plays to show you too. So let's jump right into her. Here's our VIX. If you've been reading the blog, you can see I've been watching this VIX very closely. I have marked these squares up here because it's hugely indecisive right here, just looking around in here. And then we broke through this square down here, and I have this down here. This is my next level of support right in this area here. I expect, you can see we touched the top of it. I drew this the other day, and then it just happened to hit the top of it. But 3250 is my number. But the area in here is where it's important. I'm thinking we're going to see a little bit of a turnaround coming out in here. The reason for that is if you look back, excuse me, you can see we got a fib here, and it coincides with this mess right in here. You got a gap, you got a lot of consolidation. This 3250 area I think is gonna offer up some support, and I could see us easily rallying from that area. So anyway, just keep an eye on that, the VIX area down in there. And let's pop over to that. I want to show you something. I was doing a lot of looking at charts this week, trying to figure out what is going on. And one thing that I came up with is this S&P 500. So this is 2003. You can see down here, this is the crash coming down. Nice waves coming down, just beautiful. Lower lows, lower high, bum bum bum. Typical. Come down, make our first low. We rock it up, come back down, rally, rock it back up. We had a pretty good move up here, okay? And then bang, we dropped again. Why am I showing this? Because I think we're in a similar thing here. Here you go, coming down, strong. We actually had a little bit of a sell-off here before we had a nice rally. Well, this happens to be from here to here is right about 25%. That's about a 25% rise from the highs over here before we had this sell-off, where we actually didn't retest the bottom. We did retest it. We actually broke the bottom. We actually went lower. Alright, so the reason I show you this is look at now. Same type of thing. We had a huge sell-off, the lower low is high. We had this huge drop here. Another lower low. We actually made a higher low here. Came down, and here we are now. You can see we're kind of rounding our top off a bit here. We're still in this channel. It's not straight up anymore. We're definitely coming off, making a rounding here. And actually, if you brought this back into a month, it would probably look somewhat like a bull flag in all actuality, but I don't think it is. So we got the moves down here, then we got our move up. We are coming darn close to that 25%. It's going to be somewhere in here from the highs over here. I'm thinking I would not be surprised to see maybe one fade down like we did last time, and then another move up, and then a huge drop down, or perhaps we're going to hit the 25 and come all the way back down here. Either way, I really think we're getting close to a turnaround to the downside. So I just keep an eye on that if I were you. Just looking back, when I look back, I use a lot of history to see what's going on, to see how markets reacted in the past. And like I've said many times before, I've never seen a market bounce off of a single test of the lows. And people are talking like it's over, it's over, it's over. We have only tested their lows once. I mean, I don't think you can count this 750, 675, and maybe that's what they're thinking. I don't know. I think we're still forming our bottom. If not, we may break to new bottoms here. Pardon me. So keep an eye on that. That's just my thought. We could still rally up some. We could still move up from here a little bit before we have this turnaround. But it just, I don't know if it's coincidence. I don't know if it'll work out exactly the same. But that 25% seemed to be key. Now onto the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's a different story. We've pretty much, I mean, this is a pretty good test. Pretty close. And I wouldn't be surprised. In fact, I'd expect us to hit it down again. We've been coming up. We've been moving up. Kind of angle off, had the rocket up, and we're coming up in this channel here. So watch this channel. We hit a fib here. Wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a sell-off. Options expiration Friday, last Friday. You know, things are probably going to cool down. We're coinciding with this high right here, which is the same as the fib. So this whole area, I wouldn't be surprised to see us turn around from here. We're definitely meeting some resistance there. All right, we have this gap to fill up here. And I think we are going to fill that eventually. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I look to us to get to that 1950 level again. How soon? I don't know. But anyway, just keep an eye on that. And I'm sorry I'm kind of flip-flopping around here. Like I said, I'm homesick today, and I'm just trying to get through this. So let's look at a couple stocks and get you guys out of here and on your way trading this week. I'm excited. You know, the first couple days after options expiration, I generally don't trade options just because the prices mess up. The only way I trade them is usually selling covered calls. I did that on Friday. One of my stocks I own, I sold some calls against it. I think it's the 4th time I've done it on that stock, so it's working out really good for me. Small, you know, 5-10%, 5-10%, but it just makes a steady little income, so I like it there. JNPR, here's Juniper. I'm liking this because it's been in a pretty decent channel. All right, we're hitting our 200 moving average, which I like. We got earnings coming up. I don't know how it's going to react after earnings, but we got a few days before we hit earnings. I wouldn't be surprised to see this use this area of resistance here, maybe pop up here and then head back down. So keep an eye on Juniper. I like it for a down play. With earnings coming up, you always got to be real careful, but they tend to move a lot better going into earnings and stuff like that. This is one I've shown many times. SO Southern Company. I've played it several times, done real well on it. I just like the way it follows fibs. I mean, I just like the way it follows fibs. It uses them, you know, fibs aren't exact. Fibs are an area. That's why I put those squares out a lot. So this is, if we drew these in squares, you could see it'd be following these things really nice. And if I move this line up to this base here, the closes, it'd probably line up even a little bit better. Like that. Boom. And then you can see right here. So right now we're sitting on a fib, so I probably should bounce, and you almost got an inverse head and shoulders type thing going on here. So this is just one. It could bounce off here, it could break. If it breaks this, I'd be playing it for the way down. That's what I'm looking for. If it bounces, you're going to have a nice small move up. So just keep an eye on this. It's finding some support right in here. It's just one I always like to watch just because it follows these fibs so nicely. So, you know, put that in your watch basket and just keep an eye on it. Throw some fib lines on it and tell me, and play it the way you see it or what you think, but that's the way I see it. And next one, WINN, winner, winner, chicken dinner. All right, so we got a huge downtrend. We got these fibs here. I don't know what I'm doing with these here. Let's get these off of there. All right, we got a wedge forming here. And you can see, and this is a strong downtrend line. So this is our 1, 2, 3, 4th time testing this. It looks to be turning. You've got a spinning top. You've got a hanging man here. It's near the top. Near the top Bollinger Band. It'd be better if it was on it or outside of it. And we're coming down this downtrend line. I look for this to roll on over and come back down to test this down here. So you get $3-4 play out of this. Got a gap here that's sucking it in, so we've got to keep an eye on that. Love to see that. So that's going to be magnetic and draw it right into there. So this one's got a lot of stuff going against it. If it breaks, obviously, if it breaks up above this and closes, if it closes, not if it goes above this, if it closes above 34.50, I'd get the heck out of there. Okay, so. But I'm looking, I wouldn't get in yet, but I'm looking once this turns and starts showing us that it's going to go down, I'd go ahead and play it on the way down here. So that's WIN, W-I-N-N. What else we got? G-I-L-D, there's another one I've written down. Gilead, same thing, Gilead. I like this, it's sitting on the wedge, it's got the up support, this should bounce from here. Reversal signals, I could see this one moving up to here in this area here. So keep an eye on Gilead. Again, earnings coming out on 4/21. So be very careful, don't play them through earnings. You never know what's going to happen there. So playing them into is good. SCSC. This one I like just because it's coming up hitting my 200 moving average. It's got looking for this to roll over before it retests it again. So simple. Coming up, hitting the 200. This actually broke through it up here before it dropped. So it could play around up here. But just one I'll keep an eye on. I put it in my watch list to keep an eye on to see if it would go ahead and play like it normally does on those 200 moving averages. And finally, HNT. Let's finish with this. I got a couple more, but we're running out of time here. HNT's nice long downtrend. Started up here, so this is 1 test, this area, 2 tests, 3 tests. Now it's on its 4th test of this, and it's looked to be turning down. I'd look for it to bounce a little bit off of this right here, 50 moving average, and then come back up, test it before it drops again. Bollinger Bands are tightening, so it's going to want to break out here. It's getting constricted, and we're going to need these Bollinger Bands to widen a little bit. But just keep an eye on it. I like the price of it, $13.89, nice one to play. It's got a little bit of open interest, you can see in the calls, and a little bit of open interest over here in the puts. So more 2-to-1 in the calls. So keep an eye on this one, and it'd be one I play. Anyway, we got earnings coming up, got some economic news coming up. So those are just some things I'm thinking about there. I wouldn't be surprised to see us move up a little bit, but I definitely think we've got some downside coming. So trade well, guys, and prosper. This will be AK Option Trader.